Alright people, this is your boy Bryant. We're in the shop, we're getting things done, and today what we're working on is, well, let me show you. It's a 2004 Toyota Tacoma. This is a transmission I got from a guy in Pennsylvania, and he pulled it out. He has some four-wheel drive units, but what he did is he took the body off one that the frame had rotted out from up north here. And it only had 117,000 miles on it. And I know you say, wow, that's a lot of miles. And I'm like, actually it's not. My current Tacoma that I have, I got out of Texas. My brother actually bought it brand new, has 40,000 miles on it. And the body and the frame is perfect because it was a southern truck. It was a Texas truck. And of course, we limit the amount of use we use it in the winter, and we fluid film it completely, all on the frame rails and everything. But getting back to the situation, you can see that this truck was a truck from up north, right? My lines and my tubing and all that are perfect on the 04 I have out in the driveway. And all I'm doing, this wasn't really that dirty. I'm just going over it, and I'm actually cleaning all the little pockets and areas and getting her dressed up because, you know, I don't have a rig out there that's all rusted up. So I want to keep this one nice. We're going to go ahead and dress it up. I may even put a nice gray paint on there and cover up the sticker, your data tag here, and there's another one on the other side. Now, right down here. Now the other thing is, I did a couple of the bolts broke, so I'm going to have to drill and tap them. Not a big deal. It's just a hold down bracket for this one here. I think this is the some kind of sensor. It might be a speedometer or whatever. This is your shifting linkage, I believe. This one actually came out nice. I just got it in there so that tomorrow I'm going to go get some cleaner and spray on here and rinse it off. You see a couple of the brackets there, okay? The shifter works really nice. It's nothing set up on it. Now, here's the thing. The guy did put, and this is one telltale sign, when you got a fellow that pulls one out and puts a block in front of your torque converter, usually they know that's a good transmission. If it's junk, they're not trying to hold the converter in and all that. But we're going to go ahead and we'll make sure we put a new seal behind that. But as you see, we're getting down here and we're getting dirty, but these lines are actually still pretty good, but I'm going to break them off at the connections and put my lines on there from the actual clean Tacoma out in the driveway. Everything matches up numbers wise as far as this came out of the same type of truck. It's a Prerunner. Looks like the vent up here is working good. This is venting fine. Okay. This module here, I'm sure is fine. We're going to go ahead and I'm just cleaning up all these connections, and we're going to lubricate them. I want to break them free while it's out of the truck and put some anti-seize back on them and put them back on, just so that in case, in the off chance I have to use mine, I'll be able to pull them off easy. The connections are all still good on this one. I'm not sure what that sensor is right there, but it's a sensor nonetheless. It needs to be on there, so we're going to go ahead and make sure we take care of that one. And what I'm doing right now, if you haven't seen one of these in action, is what I'm using is one of these needlers. Now this is a Harbor Freight needler, okay? And what it does is, as you can see, this is all grimy in here. And I am going to take some degreaser tomorrow, and we're going to go ahead and clean that off. But let me just show you. Let me put my ear protection on. And what we're going to do is show you how this needler works. It gets in all the little cracks and crevices that you can't get into with a wire wheel. So here we go, people. Now, as you see, this gets in all the cracks and crevices. Now, as you see, hold on a second. As you see, that saves you a ton of time. Now, here's the other thing I like about this. I believe it's called a descaler, actually. Needler, descaler, whatever you want to call it. Now, here's the thing. You see this fitting here? It gets down in all these little grooves real nice. And now what I'm going to do is go ahead and I'll soak that with some penetrant and let that set overnight. And we'll go ahead and get all these soaked again. I've already soaked them once, but we're going to clean them up and we're going to soak them. And then at the end of the day, when we prep this, we'll know, okay, that there's not a 32nd or a 16th of an inch of corrosion on there that's absorbing the oil. We'll be able to know that the penetrant will get down into the seam and the crack real good because we used the scaler, okay? But that's the situation. I'm not going to really do these hoses because they may be leaking for all I know. I don't know. They're all oil. But we're gonna 86 those and get rid of them anyway. But I just wanted to show you that how nice it gets in these little cracks and crevices in here that you'd be all day trying to get that with a wire wheel or whatever, you know. And if you've ever had one of them wire wheels come off, it doesn't feel good. They come off there in some kind of a speed, and let me tell you something. The situation is that hurts. And the needler works really good. It is loud. I will say this, if you're going to go ahead and use any air tool, remember, don't put oil down them. That's just oil. Don't put WD-40. Don't put Croil down there. It's not made for that. You'll ruin the seals. You have to use an actual air tool oil for those, okay? But you don't have to do it every day, but, you know, at the end of the day, make sure you do put a little bit of something on there, and it helps the tool, it helps the process go along a lot better. But yeah, so we're getting this ready, and we're getting the situation ready so that when we do need to change this out, it will be a pull down, put back in, and plug and play situation. And I don't believe there's a computer on this where you have to sync it to the engine or nothing like that. So I got to do a little more research on that, but I don't believe so. But if it does, I'll take it in and we'll get it remapped, and we'll look at it and go from there. But I don't think an 04 you have to do that with. But I am going to get a new front pump seal. And if you don't know where that is, let me show you. A new front pump seal is behind the torque converter. Behind the torque converter, there's a seal. And if you never pulled the converter out, it's probably fine. But that's not a risk that we're willing to take, because I don't know for sure. And here's the other thing. I cleaned these up too real nice. This adjuster on this cable. I'll probably use mine, but this will be a good spare to have. But yeah, so if you don't know, and for sure if you weren't the one pulling it out, you should always change that seal, because you hate to get it all the way up in there. Now mind you, this is a two-wheel drive. But it's still a little bit of work, you know. I mean, it's not a lot of work for myself. I'm used to doing that type of work. Been doing them since I've been a teenager. These type of two-wheel drive, four-wheel drives, whatever. But it is the same exact transmission that the four-wheel drive is. It just the back end is different here. There's a transfer case hooked to it. But I got this from a guy out in Pennsylvania, a real nice fella. I believe he's Ukrainian or Russian, and he has a bunch of the Toyota trucks like me, but really nice guy. He had it stored inside out of the elements. I just wanted to get some of the oxidation off of it. Aluminum will oxidize over time, and you know, here's the thing. There's a lot of, grew up with a certain individual. He's not a family member of mine, but we did a lot of work together. And he was an older fella at the time. He just didn't care. If it had, if you were putting an engine out of, say you were swapping a square body Chevy and you were putting a 305 or a 350 in it, he didn't care if it had an inch and a half of grease up in the valley pan. It was leaking oil. He just didn't care. He's like, put it in there. Let's get her in. Let's fire it up and get on down the highway. You have those type of people, and that's totally fine. In all reality, you're not going to see that transmission. Once it goes up in the tunnel, you're not going to see it. I just happen to have some kind of genetic code inside me that doesn't let me do that. I cannot do it in good faith, in good conscience. It bothers me. It gives me anxiety. I'm not a person to get anxiety, but that gives me anxiety knowing that I put a greasy transmission or a oxidized coating case transmission up underneath my truck. I don't know why that bothers me. I don't know if there's a characteristic or a trait that makes that. But at the end of the day, I just can't do it. And it's easier for me to take a little bit of time to clean them up and dress them up and put them in there. And I just feel better. You know, I mean, I could take that truck down the road and someone could wipe it out and total it. But, you know, and you say, well, really, it don't matter then. Just throw it in there. But to me, it matters. And I don't know what that is. I don't. Maybe there's a psychologist out amongst you, the DIYers, that could explain that, but I don't know why I'm like that. I will take a 1 hour job and I'll make 12 out of it because I clean it and I go over it and I fiddle it and I pull all the bolts out and I grease them all and put them back in and make sure that if I ever got to address it again, it's easier for me to get to and access. And part of it's probably living up in the north here where everything rusts and corrodes. That I'm trying to mitigate that, and I'm trying to make sure that when I fluid film it, it's actually going on the parent metal and not just sitting on top of grease. But, you know, overall, I'm happy with the transmission. It's going to be a good runner. We are going to take the original transmission out, and here again, that's that genetic code that runs through my veins. I will not just get rid of that transmission. I will put that in a corner, or I will have it rebuilt. And I will have that ready to go, waiting in the wings. Now this transmission has I think he said 117,000 miles on it, and mine's got almost 440. So that tells you we've got a few years to go before this one theoretically would be bad. But you know, that's the situation we're dealing with, people. I'm the type of person that even the sticker, I want the sticker on there. I'll mask the if I do paint that, I'll mask the sticker off, and when I'm done, I'll peel it off ever so gently just so that it's not, how do I put this, deteriorated or tearing it off. I'll even clean the torque converter up. I'll run a wire wheel over it, or I've got these little discs here. Let me show you. These are little soft guys right here. I bought a whole bag of them. These are called roll-off, and you put them on these little 90-degree die grinders. And these things do a wonderful job. There's different coatings. There's different levels of, well, let me show you, of grit. Okay, that's the word I'm looking for. There used to be an old movie called True Grit. But here we are. See, there's brown ones, there's green ones, and then there's these red ones. And I got these online now. You can go into Harbor Freight. Now, listen to this. You can go into Harbor Freight, and you can buy a pack of those. I think there's 6 or 8 in there, and they'll charge you $8 or $9. You know, and that's not a bad deal. You know, it's really not a bad deal. However, if you go on Amazon, I got this whole bag. I think it was for just under 12 bucks for the whole bag. And there's probably, if you were to buy these in the store, there's probably $80 to $100 worth there. So it does pay on certain things like that, and it pays like I bought these discs here. I'll show you. I bought these for the grinder. These sanding discs. And now this is one little stack here. There's probably 15 there. I think I had 40. And that goes to show you how much when you're using these. And I think that's a 40 or 60 grit, one or the other. But these are amazing for taking off a little bit of weld slag or anything. I'm not a big fan of the actual grinding wheel. I have some up here. I'm not a huge fan. Let me find one. Where are they at? As you see, this is my grinding cart. Anything with a grinder or a die grinder or anything like that, I've got it in here. Even right down to these little wire wheels. And these things, when the wire comes off them, let me tell you something, that hurts. But I got those, I got these for doing little intricate parts. I've got these discs here. As you can see, they're cut off wheels. I got these little grinder roll-off ones right here. These are the same type they screw on. You could put them on the die grinder. There's a bigger pad for that though. Everything for sanding, I've got it here. Okay. Where is the regular grinder wheel though? I don't use them much anymore. Oh, here it is. But that's an actual grinding wheel. Let's see if we can get a better look at it. I'm just not a big fan of that. The stuff that comes off that is so powdery, you know, and it gets everywhere. But you know, I've been using these wheels. Now here's a well-used one. Look at that. And you see how that's blue? That one there, yeah, that's a Porter cable one, right? That I got. I think I got these at Tractor Supply. I think I paid $4, or 4 of them I paid $9 for. And now here's the other thing. That whole pack of 40, I think I paid something like $16 or $18 for. So it makes more sense to have a grinding cart. Now this was a cart here that I found at Tractor Supply. I just put some wheels on the bottom. I put some boards underneath, okay? Plywood pieces that were scrapped. And as you can see, here's something I bought at Harbor Freight for like holding stuff. Okay, this is my cart for any kind of grinding. I put this rod in here and this other little brace so that when I put my grinders in, let's take a look. When you're done, right, you know where your grinders are. And I got another one. I got a Bauer one that goes in there, but this is that diamond. I think it's like a diamond wheel one. It's for like a cutoff wheel. It's supposed to be quite a few, basically, that you know, this thing's supposed to outlast a regular traditional grinder wheel. Now, I do like that disc, but it's not a disc. I put this, it's not a disc that I would say, oh, that's a cure-all. Just buy those, only buy those. No, you need them fiber ones. You need the fiber ones too. The little thin guys. Let me see if I got one here, I'll show you. Right here. You need these. You need these actual metal fiber, real thin ones. And here's the situation. The diamond one's good, don't get me wrong. It is good and it cuts quite a little bit. But the main purpose for that one is if I'm cutting something and it gets in between, like when I get them free skids from Tractor Supply and I'm cutting all the welds off of them, if it gets in between a weld and it binds, it will just stop or bind up and you can pull it out and you're good to go. Now if you do that with a fiber disc, it's liable to shatter on you. And so you say to yourself, well then why would you need fiber discs? Fiber discs cut a lot quicker. I'll just be honest with you. So if you're making a cut in something and you're not going to twist or turn or be in a tight spot with the grinder, then just use a fiber one because it's like, it's done. Where this one is more like there's sparks and it's working, but it's much slower at a slower rate. So there's a case or an argument for both. And because I have a whole cart, this is not my welding cart. This is just strictly my grinding cart and my prep cart. And it was for free. You know, I'm a free kind of guy. Like I can go buy a cart. To be honest with you, I have enough money in my savings account. I could go buy a cart. But I'm the type of person that grew up when if you could build something yourself, it's unique. You can't buy that cart at the store. I guarantee you. And it's got, you know, quite a little features that I like. And if I want to change something on it, I just take it and add to it or cut it off or add to it. But at the end of the day, it's something that I can say that I did, you know, that it's a scenario that I can throw stuff on there and not feel like, wow, I just spent $500 on a cart and look at this thing. I bumped it or scratched it. These things are going to get nicked and scratched and pulled around the driveway or around the shop or whatever. But anyway, I hope you like the update on the 04 Tacoma transmission, because that one there, my other one, it's not that it's like terrible. It's just making a loud winding noise. It's making a even when it's in park. So I think that either the front pump's gone or something's going on. It might even be a bearing. I don't know. And I want to have this ready. I looked around, and I found one. They want roughly about $3,000 to rebuild it, which is not a big deal. $2,800. That's if they put it in the car and everything. Now, if you take and just get it, take it out of the vehicle and take it in and have them, they call it what's called bench build it. It's about $800 to $900. So I'll have them bench build it. And like the guy said, I can't guarantee it that way because I haven't put it in, which I understand that. Everybody is trying to save money, and he probably doesn't know my capabilities or if I have capabilities even, but I've been doing this a long time. I understand you put new filters in them. I understand that you take your time with them and do them right. So he don't know that, which is fine, but it's a big difference. Let's just say $1,000, right? As opposed to $3,000. You're saving $2,000 if you take it out of the truck and put it back in the truck and prep it and do all that. But we're going to do that. I'm going to take it down there and I'm going to have them rebuild it, and it's going to be put in a corner. And if this one fails, I won't freak out. I won't worry about it. I won't panic. I'll just go ahead and go back to the OEM. That's an OEM as well, but it'll be the original one to the truck. I want to keep that. But the truck's got sentimental value. You know what I mean? It's my brother bought it brand new, and then I got it from him. So at the end of the day, that's going to stay in my family. It's actually my son's truck, and I got that for him. And my brother knew that going into it, that it was going to go to my son. My son's very responsible. He's a good guy, and he's going to have it. And when we're done with the truck, it's going to be a truck that says, wow, that's a nice Tacoma that's been well taken care of. And it's a southern Tacoma. It's one from San Antonio, Texas, or the Texas area out there. And it's clean every year, no matter what, whether I drive it a lot or not. I run up through the frame rails with the fluid film, and we do it 100%. We don't shortchange that. And the only thing on that truck, I've got a headache rack on it and all that. The only thing on that truck is the driver's seat, a little bit of a couple little interior things, and then eventually that truck's going to get painted. Even though it's not like rotted out or nothing, I want to just get a fresh paint job, and eventually we'll do that. But at the end of the day, it's actually my son's truck. I'm just driving it and keeping everything flowing on it until he's ready to take it 100%. But we're going to go ahead and put this transmission in it when it comes time that we need it. We're going to be ready to go. It's going to be a 4 or 5, 6 hour job. Pop it down, put it in, prep it, bang, everything. And if you remember right, when I brought that truck back from Texas, maybe I didn't do a video on this. I can't remember. But I talked to a guy in Nashville, and he had a complete drive shaft and all that assembly that went to one of these trucks. And I think I paid $40 or $60 for it. It had all brand new ball joints, or excuse me, not ball joints, all brand new universal joints in it. And it was a steal, actually. And I was coming back off of a trip, and I utilized, I think I was going offshore at the time, out in the Gulf of Mexico, and they had a rental for the company I was working with before the company I'm with now. And I was driving back and forth during the pandemic, and I just stopped on my way and grabbed it. So I didn't even have to go pay shipping or freight or nothing. I grabbed it on one of my travels, and it was $40 or $60. And what was happening is the truck was making like a real weird noise, and it sounded drivetrain wise. And when I got home, I pulled that out, and let me tell you something, that thing was toast. It had about 420,000 miles on that. And I don't think, to be honest with you, this isn't a knock against my brother or anything, because he's not really a mechanical kind of person, but he would take it in every time to the Toyota dealership. And let me tell you something, they screwed him over on that, because I don't think they ever greased that. And at the end of the day, you know, things happen. But anyway, long story short, I put that in there, so it's got a brand new front to back. It's got a new OEM Toyota Tacoma drive shaft. Excuse me. And it's going to have 117,000 mile transmission put back in it when it's ready. I'm going to get the other one rebuilt. But here's the other thing I want to show you. Let me see if it's still light out, because it's been raining here all day. Oh, I think it's just enough light out here that I can show you this. Now, that Tacoma's at the airport, okay? And but this is what I just got back from Oklahoma. And take a look at this. Woo-wee! Look at that bad boy, huh? That's a Super Duty now. That's a big diesel. And look at that move bumper. I just got this from Oklahoma out near Tulsa and drove it all back the other day. It took me 19 hours. She drove really good. Look at that, man. That's a truck there that says we're ready to do some work. We're ready to haul a trailer. She's pretty clean. The frame underneath is literally, there's not a spot of rust on it. It's from Tulsa. There's a couple little dings in the truck. You know, you got a little ding here. You got a little ding here. And there's one, I think, up front here. But I'm going to work on those to see what I can do with them. But that's not nothing for an old war wagon, you know. But take a look at that. Look at these. 37s, baby. And she's a Super Duty. Even the back bumper has got the move bumper style on it. It's real steel. That's real steel. Can you hear that? And that's got big lugs on it right there. But she's a 4x4 version. The tires are brand spanking new. Okay. The rims are brand new. He went through and put all new suspension on it. Look at this. Ho-ho! You probably can't see it that good out here. But she's pretty clean. Let me pop the door for you just so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, on the way back, you think I paid for a hotel? Heck no. Look how big this cab is. I just got my blanket over there, laid it out, and went to sleep, baby. But, yep. There's that. Look how clean the front end is, too. Look how nice this truck is. Someone really took good care of this truck. And it's been deleted. It's got a nice little tune to it. Okay. It's got the captain's chairs. It's really nice. It's the XLT package. It's got the rubber floor. But you really can't see it that well in the dark. I'll have to do a day review on it. But you can see, I mean, look at underneath the doors. There's not a spot. That's just water there, people. There's not a spot of rust under this truck at all. I do have to get some running boards. I need to make some running boards for it. But there it is. There's the big Tonka truck. And I'll tell you what, after 18, 19, 20 hours in that thing, I really love it. I'm going to tell you right now, I really love this truck. And over there in this corner there, you can probably see it's going to be my dump trailer. That's the bottom part. I got to build the top. But yeah, there she is, people. We're pretty happy with her. And she sounds really nice. Oh, you want to hear it run? Okay, hold on. Let's do it. This has electric start too, or let me see if I can do it. Let's see if I can get it to go. I'm trying to get the Alright, well, I don't know. Maybe it was the other key I had. I got two sets of keys. But take a listen to this old girl. Let me get the key in there for you now. Oh! Huh? I'm gonna tell you something. Daddy's pretty happy. Daddy is pretty happy. Now, what I can say is, I've never had a diesel before, but let me tell you something. It's sort of like that metal cut and chop saw. You don't realize how much you really could use one until you actually have one. But this is Bri. We got the F250 2010. She's pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with her, and she's my color. She's white. If you know anything, all my trucks are usually white. And take a look at her, baby. We love her. She's got the nice, I don't know what style rims they are because I'm not really a big rim kind of guy. But look at these. It's even got the big lockouts. It's got the floor shifter for locking it in four-wheel drive. Let me see. There's what the tires are. These are brand new too. He bought everything new to put on the truck. These are big money tires. I think they're probably $400 a tire. But yeah, no, he did me pretty good. He picked me up at the airport even, this guy did. It was a dealership out there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I think it's called Second Generation. We'll give him a shout out too. His name's Mo. And, you know, good fella. He had about 3 people in there when I was in there that was asking about the truck. They come in, I want to look at the white Ford, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I'm sorry, I told you I was going to pick the guy up at the airport, and at the end of the day, he kept his word. Now, the only thing I've got to do to this truck that I don't really care for, I do not care for that tint right there. That's coming off, and the back window tint's coming. Not this back window, that's staying. But the very back window, that one's coming off as well. You cannot see when you're looking back through the rearview mirror at night with that thing. So that's coming off, and then of course your boy's going to build a back rack for this one as well, like I did on the Tacoma. And we're going to be literally, like they used to say in the old days, we'll be shitting in high cotton. But this is Bri. That's the F250. We're pretty happy with the old Tonka truck, and we'll get on down the road and we'll let you know that if you have a vision of something that you want as a DIYer, and I've always wanted a bigger truck to pull my trailers and stuff, then you just got to make it happen. You can't say, well, someday, maybe, it could be. You just got to get a plan. I don't care if it's $100 a week or $100 a month that you can start saving. Start saving up and start looking around, and when you're serious, it's going to happen. This is Bri. I got to go.